Hello and welcome back in another video about sheet metal fabrication calculation for insulation on your calculator. So in this video I'm gonna show you how to put the calculator program, all those formulas in a calculator. And if you're watching this video and you have a computer, it doesn't matter if you have a Windows or a MacBook, you will be able to test this at home, because I'm also sitting at home at my home office time now because of the COVID-19. It was a good opportunity for me to do videos like this. But first is first, I have to thank someone else for this opportunity, for all those formulas he made, everything by hand, and that's Doogie, my friend from Dortmund. So thank you, Doogie. We go live now to Dortmund and see Doogie. Okay, hello, and I want to thank Doogie for his calculator programs. He is Doogie, also known as Dragan Marjanovic from Belgrade, Serbia. Yes, okay, that was Doogie. Okay, that was Doogie, and we're going to continue with this video about the calculator. So there will be some every download links will be mentioned in the description, so you will be able everything to download, all programs as the software for your MacBook and also for Windows. And you can always decide later, if you have tested on your PC or on your MacBook, if you want to buy a computer like this, a calculator, and program it then later on it, because it's a must-have. As a sheet metal worker, it's much easier and much faster to calculate and make your templates. Okay, well, let's get started, and we go now back on the computer screen. So we're going to continue on the desktop screen, and the second thing what we're going to do is I'm gonna show you where you can download the calculator for your desktop computer or MacBook, and that's here on the original Casio site. And there are computer calculators for Windows and for Mac. So for the Windows, there are only 4 calculators available, as far as I know, and for the Mac there are only 2 available. So these 4 here are for the Mac. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the most popular one, and they have all 4 calculators have 90 days of trial. So I prefer you first install one calculator, and after those 90 days trial has been passed, you can install another calculator and you have another 90 days of trial. Only fortunately on the Mac you have only choose 2 calculators. These are the tools for the MacBook, and both also 90 days trial, so you have 980 days you can use it for free. After that you must or pay for it or you buy a calculator. Okay, so I'm gonna download the FXCG Manager Plus. That's the same calculator you have on Windows and on Mac. So once you have downloaded and installed and you open the program, it looks like this. So after that you go on the download from my Google Drive. I put here those 4 things you can download. That's the Dutch, the English and the German program, and the PDF manual of all programs. So the German program is the original, actually the untouched version. That's the one Doogie made. He programmed it, the whole program on calculator by hand, and then after that I translated in English and in Dutch language. Okay, so once you have the calculator here installed, you go here on your menu. So here's this cursor, you can move it left, right, up, down. So you go here on the memory, execute it, F3, import export, F1, import memory, and you go then to the download files. You download Dutch, English, German, so I'm gonna take English, open it, and F1, save. So now it's saved in this calculator on the memory of the computer. Now we have go to the main memory. No, wait it. Storage memory. That's the one. Select and copy. Okay, So now if I go in the menu, I go up here in Program and Execute, then all those programs will appear. Now before I'm gonna start calculating, we have to change something here in the Run Matrix. So Execute, Run Matrix, and then we have to go in the Setup, and therefore we have to press Shift, Setup, and go down here on the red radius. We have to change the angle radius in degrees, so F1 degree. That's it, exit. And now you can go back on the program. So for example, program 1 is, now we start with the bend, and therefore there's the bend. So okay, bend, execute, diameter 200. That's the diameter, radius say 150. Segments, so we have here 1, 2, 3 middle segments and 2 half segments, that's 4. Swage allowance, it's 5 mm from each side, so you're gonna give 5 because it only calculates the half segment. So 5. Division template, that's the division, how much parts you want to have it. Normal it's 12, but you can also make more, 24, 36, 12. Overlap, well, we're gonna have 30 mm, that means 15 on each side. So the distance for my division template is 52 mm. So that's from these sections between the division there, that's 52 mm. Circumference of my template is 628, width lap 658, so that's complete template. Now the points are coming, 14.95. You can change these after the 0.95, I will show it in another example. So this is actually 15 mm, and that's here 0. The first one is number 0, and that's the shortest distance. That's the same one here, so you go up for 15 mm up and 15 mm down. And now those points coming, and you have a square meter of 0.15 for the band. Okay, well, that's the band. Now of course you can also download, there's also a link, download link for another calculator. It's this one, it's a standalone calculator, so you have to start it every time. You don't have to install it, but you have to start it every time. And every time you use it, you must load the program every time new. So, and that's what I'm going to do here. So I'm going down to memory. Here it's a little bit different. SD card, English, open, main memory 1, exit, and here it's already there. See? Now that's something you have to do always with this one, because this is a freeware program and it doesn't have any trial, so you can use it as long as you want. Now we go in the Run Matrix, again Shift Setup, we come here, so you have to change this every time you use this calculator, you have to do it, but here not. Here once you have installed everything you start the program, everything is set up. So I have to here to change here the degree. Now if you go down, that's the same thing you can also do here, it's display FX. FX you say 0, execute, so that's the 0. You go to menu, program, band, so diameter, I'm gonna do the same thing, 200, radius 150, segments 4, swage allowance 5, 12, 30, so see, now I get sizes 50 mm, 80 mm, not like here. 52 and 55, you see, here it's 40, 54.73, and here it's 55. Here's 52. So that's the thing you can change. Another thing also, if you are already in the programs, and you want to go to program, say 52. Now you can press the cursor the whole way down and press until you come, or you go here in this arrow, search, press alpha to unlock the numbers, 52, execute, and you're there. And that's also how it works on a real computer, on a hardware calculator. So, well, that was the calculator. Now you can practice, you can download everything, practice every program. If there are any problems, just ask me in the comments, and maybe I will make a tutorial about some programs. But first I was thinking, okay, let's test it. So these are the two programs. You can always put the backup, what you have downloaded from the site, you can put it on an SD card, because there are also calculators with an SD. That's the Casio 9860G and G2. They are both with SD cards. Now, if you want to change something or do something, for example, here in this calculator, and you want to edit some program, or you want to copy over, because there's also a copy cable from calculator to calculator, just press A as a password. That's the big A is password, execute, and you're in the program. So all passwords are the same. It's always the big A. I did have make a password protection, because if there is no password protection, it happens. You go quick in the menu and you push some button and you messed up the formula. Okay, now the second thing is, if you want to edit or change language in the Casio program, you have to download. You want to download from the Casio site, also called Programm software, FA124. It's also for free. Once you have installed that program, then it looks like this. And some calculators have an USB connection, so you can connect your calculator on the USB. And now you press the right button of the mouse and go on import. And then also again the English program I want to open. And then it appears here, and now I can change here. For example, I can here band, can translate it in another language, or if you're not happy with the English translation, you can translate it the way you want it. But important is that what you change, it should be always between those quotation marks. That's very important, because if you're changing something outside those quotation marks, you will changing the formula and it won't be precisely numbers anymore. So that's it, guys. I hope you like this video about the calculator. I wish you very much luck with it, and experiment, try the calculator out. I mean, okay, I'm gonna show some examples. I'm gonna show you another example. For example, what is here? Yeah. So these are those programs. So I'm gonna go back here in the menu. Exit. So if I go here, program number 2 is a segment. Size K, that's size K. It's the smaller size. K and G, that's from German. K is small, from klein, and G is from big, groß. So size K is, for example, I'm just gonna guess some numbers. So say it's 50 millimeters. You took sizes. And size G, say it's 120. And you have a diameter of, say, 200. So then this segment, if you find an old segment, you just check the sizes, small and the bigger, and the circumference or the diameter, and then you say give those numbers, and it gives you the radius, it gives you the angle, and how much segments it's got. So it's a suggestion, 5 segments. So that's maybe if you find an old band and it's only half on it, and you want to find out what kind of a band it is, how much segments it's got, and what radius it is. So now we have here what we have here, number 3. Number 3 is if you take size, for example, the small bow is say 100 and the big bow is say 200. That's, for example, it could be a band without insulation or a ducting channel. Doesn't matter if it is square or round, but from the side it must be a radius. It's got to have a radius. Now I'm going to execute the diameter, say 300. So it gives you the radius. So if you know the outside size, the inside size, and you know this distance or the radius or the diameter, it gives you the radius of 450, and it gives you what angle it's got. Now program number 4, so everything is in millimeters. It's with your ruler. Suppose ruler in millimeter. On your ruler you have 766 millimeter. It gives you an angle of 45. And same thing in the upper side. So if you want to know how much 60 degrees is in your ruler, well, it's 742. Okay, we have a band. It's not a 90-degree band. It's like it's an elbow with segments. So it's a band, could be 80 degree, but also 110 degrees. So it's normal, just like a band. And you have 2 options. So 5, the number 5. And we have here number 5 with a point. So the number 5 is giving it in degrees, and the second is in millimeter. So if I give the second one diameter 200, radius 150, segments say 4, ruler. Now I have to watch out in this ruler, so I have to give 76.6. It's a little bit different as in the previous program, but that's how it works. But you can always see it here, millimeter, point, millimeter. And now it goes just like the normal band, gives you the sizes overlap. So it's just one I'm gonna say it, just a principle system. So we have circles. So that's an elbow, 2-part. So that this program is actually doubled, 1 in degree and 1 in by size of your ruler, Chinese head or a lid. You can do that one. So what diameter you want? Say I want to have 300 millimeter. I want a height have of 30 millimeter. Allowance. So that's the allowance. The E. How much? You can give 0 or just 5 millimeter. So and then it gives you the radius. The radius with allowance and without allowance. And it gives you size C, and size C is you just take a starting point and make a straight line there where it connects with the line, and that's the C. So you do that 3 times, and there where it stops you have here a distance between. You cut it out, and that's your overlap, and then you get these lid as a Chinese head. F19, so F19 is the distance between those two. So you can probably straight away make here 19 and then go to the middle. That's it. Well, that's as a cap end, so you give circle, so diameter, say it's 2000, insulation is 100. How much parts? Well, I'm gonna have 4 parts, so radius 2, that's the inside radius. Radius 1, because we have 2000 and we have 100 insulation. B, so now it gives you the circumference from that part, or it gives you C, how much it is straight. If you make a straight line, this straight line should be a length of 1014. That's it. Parts, now you want to have, say, 6 parts, and it gives you the sizes. So circle 2, number 8, that's here, the one who's down. So you give here diameter, say you want to insulate a big pipe or a column and it has no insulation. So when the diameter is 2000, for example, the insulation is, say, 120. Now you took a size on the naked metal, so without insulation. That means from here you take a size, the circumference. You don't know what this, how long it is, so you do it with your ruler. You take your size with the ruler, and it is, for example, 623. That means with insulation the outside bow will be 698. So it gives you the inside. You measure the inside line, and the program calculates the outside line with insulation. So it's exactly, if you have here a somewhat cut out or a cutout and you want to make a seam there, and you want to make a seam there, you can calculate exactly the distance. Okay, now what was next? Next is the flat. Diameter 200, depth 25. So the flat size is 66. That's the flat size. That's only a half flat size, 66. And the complete flat size is 132. That's the complete. And the bending edge is 41 degrees. That's, if you go on a bending machine and you want to bend it, it's a 41 degree bending edge, and that's it. And the difference, 6 millimeter. So, and the whole difference is 12 millimeter. So the flat program, there are 3 types. So we have here another flat, 200, depth 25. So the flat is here 66 again. The whole flat is 33, 130, yeah. And now the bow. So the bow is here. That's the bow line. That's 72 millimeters. And the whole bow from the flat here, the upside bow, is 145. Difference is 6 millimeter from a half and 12 from a whole. So now we can give overlap 30. And it gives you for 2 halves. So one half is 616, the other half is 614. So that's L2. That's this one. T is 85. So if you want only need this size, sometimes you only need this size. From a quarter it's flat, and that's size T. It's 85. L1. It's 151, so that means this is here L1. That means a flat and a quarter from the circle, 151, with overlap 181. And that's the same thing. So L2, see L2, 308. It's the complete circumference or half circumference from the flat, and with overlap, and same thing with L3. So you can use L3 and L1 if you have a two-part what's flattened. That's it. Okay, well, okay, we're gonna do the reducer, and the second one of the program, number 2, that's the third one here, that is you want to make a crossover. Number 10, it's a reducer, so small k, small diameter, 100, big diameter, say 200. The length, it's okay, length or height, length it's 120. Swage allowance, you can give 5 millimeter or whatever. How much parts, so how many parts you want it. So here in the description here it's 2 parts, so I'm gonna give them also 2 parts. A is degree, 180 degree is this angle here. RK, that's the radius big, radius small, I'm sorry, that's the radius small. RK is radius small. RG is the radius big, so once you have make those 2 radius, then it gives you a size CK, chord small, and that is from this line, so without the overlap, you go a straight line, and then there where it hits the other line, that's 143 millimeter, and another 142. The same thing you do with the big sizes. And then you have your reducer and division T, that's also, but it's a crossover system. So division T, say you want to have 4 parts or 12 parts. SK, that's the small distance, small radius, with what you're gonna go have in your bow divider. SK is the small, so this distance is 25. SG, that is here the big S, that's distance is 53. The length, straight length is 140, and the diagonal, diagonal is 157. So that's a triangle transition, making a reducer by triangulation. It's okay when you have, for example, a very big and small, very big reducer, say from 2000 on 2200, and it's only 50 long. Then it's a triangulation system. Okay, that's were the first STAMB programs. I have explained a little bit. I don't want to make this video too long. Okay, well, thank you for watching this video. I hope it was useful for you as for me, because at the end of the day, well, you have something to calculate, and you never know for what you can need it, especially if you're a young sheet metal worker and it's faster, easier, and exactly. Thank you for watching. If you liked it, subscribe to the channel, and see you next time.